we were joined by Juganawt to discuss the new Chromecast with Google TV as the hot topic for the Roundtable podcast on Thursday, October 1st. Take a look. Folks, replace all your light bulbs with black lights. It's time for the hot topic. I pronounced the words right this week. Did y'all like that one? Was that a good one? Are they getting better or are they getting worse? That's the important question.
The worse, the better.
Because it's a hot topic. There's all the black lights, and you can. I don't know where you're going with that. I'm talking about like psychedelic posters. So, of course, y'all knew we were not going to get out of this without talking about Chromecast. Specifically, the brand new Sabrina, the Teenage Witch Chromecast, has been finally released, and it is the Chromecast with Google TV. It is Google's Chromecast that includes a controller where you can speak into it and trigger the Google Assistant, and it includes a brand new user interface called Google TV, which lives on top of sorry, I'm gonna have to pull this up. I just noticed Adam in the chat. I don't understand them 90% of the time. Do y'all have the Hot Topic store in England? So I've had these jokes happening for probably about 2 months now that the entirety of half of my crew have never understood. Hot Topic, for those of you who do not know, is a series of, it's a store chain where they sell things like fishnets and chokers and indie t-shirts and distressed backpacks and Funko Pops. And
that is not what Hot Topic is.
Yes, it is. It's for the emo grunge kids in your life. Back in the 90s, it was for that.
Sometimes people mix up Hot Topic and Spencer's.
No, if you go into a Hot Topic, it is Funko Pops and black lights and
I don't know which Hot Topic you're going into, Avery, but it's the wrong one.
Go to their website. I'll do it. Show you because I've been to their website so that I can come up with some of these jokes. But no, Spencer's is different. Spencer's is where you don't let the kids go to the back of the store. Somehow they got away with selling those things in a mall. But anywho, new Chromecast. So, but one of the things that we found out when new Chromecast was announced was that Stadia is not included on it in moment one. Grace, our wonderful Grace from Google, shout out to Grace, who is an amazing community manager for Stadia. And if you have not seen her hilarious posts, she's also a streamer. She's totally a gamer. So check out her. I'm sure she's going to get like a bunch of extra follows here that she's not. And be nice to Stadia people. I'm only going to say it once. Be nice to Stadia people. I technically said it twice. So not getting Stadia support until 2021. So the community had a reaction to this. It seems like our hot topic is generally because the community had a reaction to this. So first I'm going to get your reactions to the new Chromecast and then the Stadia side of it for that. Anthony, are you a Chromecast guy? Do you have Chromecasts other than, you're probably Chromecast Ultra? And what did you think of the new Chromecast?
I definitely got the I got the Founders Pack, so it came with the Chromecast. So I would get the Sabrina because I think the main feature for me is that again, correct me if I'm wrong, but it will have Bluetooth capability, so I could actually link up PlayStation or Xbox controllers to it and then play that on Stadia as well.
Yep. So it has been confirmed that other controllers do work on it. A few folks in Reddit bought them. Apparently, the United States retailers just didn't give a crap, and so they released them on like Home Depot stocked them on the shelves, and Walmart and Best Buy, like whatever, And so you could have picked one up early, and folks did, and indicated that you ended up that you can connect to Bluetooth controllers and play other games. A few folks have even like side-loaded the Xbox app and have played like Xbox Game Pass on it because it's technically got Android sort of under the hood. But no Stadia. Dan, what was your reaction there?
I think it was a bit of an overreaction on the public's behalf. I mean, we still have other ways of playing Stadia at this point in time. It's not ideal that this doesn't come with Stadia until at least the first half of 2021. But, you can still play on the browser. You can still pick up the Chromecast Ultra. I know you've got to buy a Premier Edition, but don't forget there's probably a surplus of stock in your local supermarkets or depot stores. It's not like you're going to be unable to get a Chromecast Ultra until, this Sabrina, as I'm still going to call it, comes out. So, and I think we've said it before. Google is quite a siloed company. Like each department works kind of independently of another, and if they want to talk to each other, they have to go through certain channels and stuff. And at the heart of it, this Chromecast device is more for like TV. I mean, they pushed heavily the TV aspect of it as well. So there's chances are that there wasn't a great deal of communication that probably should have happened between the Stadia team and the Chromecast team for saying that obviously Stadia is reliant upon Chromecast. But who knows? We might have something in the works, like, for example, a more dedicated Stadia app that could come to this, that will allow you to use the remote as well to maybe select your games. Because I know one of the most frustrating things about, you know what I mean, my Chromecast Ultra is that there is no remote for it, so I can't press, especially if my controller runs out of battery or something, or, you know what I mean, you get kicked out of a game and then you have to turn your controller off, turn it back on. It'd be nice to just kind of like pause the game using your remote or something like that. So I wholeheartedly believe there's a reason why. We just probably don't know what that reason is.
Yep. And a hat tip to Ben Schoen at I did it again. I don't like my giant face on the screen. Hat tip to Ben Schoen from 9 to 5 Google, who fantastic writer. If you've not seen him on that site, who did get earlier information from Google indicating that the first plan for the new Chromecast was to make sure that you could cast Stadia to it. Right now, you can't even cast Stadia as a casted thing, as you can do on Chromecast Ultra. And then later, there would be wide support at an undisclosed date. So at least for now, you can't actually put Stadia on the new Chromecast at all. You can't cast it, and there's no app for it. Though, saying there's no app for it, plenty of people have side-loaded the Stadia app. And over the course of the last few weeks, it's become more and more workable. Like, it does seem to be getting there. Juganawt, have you taken a look at this? What are your thoughts? As a person who has very much close-hand experience with things coming soon from Stadia, what's your take on this?
So I haven't experienced the app. I don't have the new Chromecast. And as I say, I'm using iOS at the moment, so I don't have an Android device. But it just seems like a giant misstep and a miscommunication between departments. How can you release a new product which you want to encompass all of someone's entertainment needs and miss out the gaming side of things, which is supposed to be a huge focus for your company? You've promised us that it would be a huge focus for your company. Why is it not there day and date? Why not put back the launch of the product until you have something to show with it? You know, I just don't understand how it could have come to retail without having this big percentage of Google's forward thinking missing from it. I just don't understand. I just don't see it. I understand the need for a Netflix alternative, sure, for TV shows. I understand the need for, you know, streaming and multicasting from a mobile device, and you can play some sort of games that way. But as people have demonstrated, the ability to physically play Stadia games is there. So why haven't Google got their app ready for launch? Why? I'm confused more than pissed off. I just don't understand how a company as big and intelligent and as forward thinking as Google can miss something so obvious.
That's strange.
Yeah, I have to wonder how much of it is. I tweeted this last night that it's, you know, to me, my take on it is the reason it's not there is because it's not ready. I work in the software industry, and I know that sometimes you try to hit a deadline, and sometimes you succeed at that deadline, and sometimes you don't. And I would be willing to bet the Chromecast team, which is a separate team than the Stadia team, even though they do talk to each other, had a deadline, and their deadline was this is going to ship. It's already the manufacturing process has already begun. The production lines are rolling. This ships on September 30th. And so Stadia, if you want to be with us, you got to get this software done by September 30th, and we got to QA it, and we got to test it, and it's got to be ready for deployment.
I've got two rebuttals for that. One, firmware updates. You know, it doesn't matter when your manufacturing date is ready. You can roll out a day one firmware update and have that feature ready to go. And two, they've already got a working product in Chromecast Ultra. If the worst came to the worst, just grab that and shove the software in the new system. Have that as a bare bones beginner's tool, and then elaborate and improve and release a version 2.0 in software in spring. You know, a basic version of functionality should have been there. I really
at least the same as what we've got.
Yeah. At least the casting should have been there. Unless there's something special about the cast process of the Chromecast Ultra, which admittedly, they're not the two devices. They've used the same name, but they're not based on the same architecture. The new Chromecast, despite being called a Chromecast, is based on the Android TV architecture with cast functionality in it. The Chromecast is a dedicated hardware device, not based on Android TV, but based on its own unique architecture. So there might be some things there where it's the whole thing where it's just not ready yet, is they missed their deadlines.
Isn't the Chromecast Ultra just a dumb device that can just kind of accept a cast from somewhere? It has relatively little intelligence itself, whereas this new one, do you know what I mean? It has the TV built into it. It has apps that can be loaded onto it. So, you know what I mean? Like you say, it's a bit of a different beast.
It is a bit of a different beast, but at the end of the day, it still has a web browser that we could use to access Google Stadia, if nothing else. You know, go to a website, go to stadia.com through the web browser on your Chromecast and access it that way if we have to. Why is that functionality so difficult to integrate for day one? I just don't see it.
I wonder if anybody has actually tried that, like going to if you have this new Chromecast and you're in the chat right now, pull up the Chrome app on the Chromecast and try it and see what happens, because it'll be interesting to see. I do have to wonder if it's it's just a whole different inside the processor is just different than that. So it's tough to know. Eddie Player One, same thing. Android TV being a completely different OS.
The fact that you can sideload an app onto it. I mean, you couldn't do that on the Chromecast Ultra. It didn't have apps. It just had,
because there's no concept of apps.
The apps were on your phone.
Yeah, the Chromecast itself is an evolution of a technology that existed before Chromecast. There's an open standard called Miracast, which if you have a smart TV and you have a laptop, take a look in your laptop settings for the option to cast screen, because you can possibly cast the screen of your laptop to your smart TV without needing a Chromecast or anything else on it, because it's using the Miracast standard. So the Chromecast, they just kind of, as Google is wont to do, they took a cool thing and said, we're going to monetize that and make it super huge.
Yeah. You was able to do that with your PlayStation, with your phone and your PlayStation, your phone and your TV. Yeah. It's just called mirror image.
So kind of a different thing, but I do agree. I mean, regardless of how, I get to the Stadia shill in me, again, I'm waiting for that money, Google, wants to defend them. I do agree that you rearrange the, you rearrange the priorities, you rearrange the ticket queue to hit the things that you need to hit. And this was one of those deadlines that they knew was coming. There's nobody in these teams that did not know that September 30th was coming. They knew. John Justice was aware of this, and Andre, whatever his name is, and Phil Harrison. So you just start reallocating resources. Maybe we don't launch crowd choice. Maybe we do like we did with Bomberman and say, it's coming, but not day one. And that just comes later, and you reallocate those resources to making sure. Granted, I also know that it's probably a different team. Inside the Stadia ecosystem team, there is probably going to be developers who work with Chromecast, developers who work on YouTube, and developers who work on all these integrations. But I do kind of agree that it was not ideal that it didn't launch with this. But Eddie, in the chat, team size and priorities. It really is how many people can you allocate to it and get it done. Though there was a great comment. Yeah, there was a great comment earlier though from Random Noob. I remember people overreacting over the Buddy Pass being made available, quote, within 6 months, when it was like the next week. So there's nothing saying that first half of 2021 isn't January.
January
It's
1st.
not.
Yeah,
It's
but
not October.
if it's January 1st, then why wouldn't it be available Christmas time? Like, what's a 2-week difference there? So that's why I don't think it's going to be there in January. I think it's probably going to be more March to June. But like, this could have been a selling point because people want a gaming system right now, and Stadia could have been that gaming system. And now it's like, oh well, either I have to get something that's old, which is also probably not even available, or I get the new thing and say, okay, you get your gaming system in June.
Is this an under promise, over deliver kind of situation? Andrew, what are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I kind of want to go and discuss a little bit going on what Juganawt said as far as kind of being an opportunity if Google is saying that, hey, we're focusing on Stadia. And also kind of trying to time with you, Avery, as far as deadlines, and that is Stadia in 1 month and 18 days is going to have their 1 year anniversary. They might be a little distracted with something like that coming up. And the fact that Google made nearly $4 billion from YouTube revenue ads alone in the second quarter of 2020, they're trying to get out YouTube TV. They're trying to get out, their big money-making stuff in the Chromecast. I think that maybe a couple factors lining up just made it. And again, the Stadia community, I don't think Google's quite making $4 billion from Stadia at the moment. But I was very happy to at least see, since it's a hardware event and a hardware launch, they did include the Stadia content in with the Pixel when they could, and basically gave Stadia a nod, which to me showed that they are serious about it. They didn't just show 5G download times and be like, hey, look, your old 4G phone can download this fast, we go 5G. But I can definitely see how the community can be upset that we'd love to see more Stadia content for sure, but obviously Google is making billions of dollars on certain things right now. They want to keep making those billions. So if they have to push out a product without one of its features for a different subsidiary of it, then I think that's probably what they ended up doing. And Stadia could just be distracted because, I don't know, I see maybe a smaller team at Stadia than some of us wish there was. I think some of us would love to see like 100 developers and storefront people and marketers, but I still think
somebody
Stadia,
building a freaking search tool already.
I know. Just go borrow some guy from Google and just bring him over. But and you guys I think you're definitely right as far as the silos, like the Chromecast. I don't even know. Do you think that the CCU developers were even in on the Sabrina project, or do you think that was a separate silo as well within Google? Because it's similar, but it's different. Or did they merge?
They probably had heads that would have been across both.
Yeah,
because you're going to have the people on the Android TV project joining forces with the people on the Chromecast project to make a thing happen. Yeah, I think it's one of those situations where Google, we have to trust as much as it pains us armchair board men to do. We have to trust that a company that makes more money in 1 second than all 7 of us are going to make this year sort of kind of knows what they're doing and has a plan. And that's horrible to hear. Nobody wants to hear that. Everybody gets so frustrated with me when I point that out. But oh, sorry. I saw, of course, the gaming CPA bringing up the finance, and I was like, oh, somebody in the chat recognized that's Blue Bob. He's the gaming CPA. So it is a situation where there's got to be a plan. And if Google's plan is, our number one focus here is we got to get the Chromecast out the door. We got to get it in people's hands so that they're going to buy a whole bunch of them and we can ramp up supply and blah, 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 blah. And then Christmas, Boxing Day, and so forth happens. And then Stadia team, when you're ready, let us know and we'll toggle the switch. And the Stadia team's just working in their own world. And maybe they are focused right now on crowd play and YouTube streaming and all those other things that might generate Stadia specifically a little bit more money. Could be. Who knows? Anybody else got any thoughts on does the dashing young man in the cowboy hat perhaps have any future further thoughts on this? Jose, you got some fans. Ray Stone, sup cowboy, or hey cowboy.
What's going on, Ray? It's a couple of the guys
thoughts?
that I play some games with, and they watch my Thursday night show with my wife and I. We do call the Sandy and Anthony show. And Avery,
which
you
I
was
have
on there a
tuned
couple
into
times.
on occasion, and it's a trip. If you've been watching All Purpose Champ on our Source feed live, tuning into like the stuff he does on And Now Your Mama Knows is like you're the same person, but it's different.
Yeah,
but you're still the cowboy either way. What are your thoughts on Sabrina?
I think it's a good point you guys are making, that I'm pretty sure, they know what they're doing. It's hard for the fans of us, because I think the best point I heard, period, was Scarlet. These new systems are coming out. This definitely could have been a little jump on the competition. Even if we're just talking about current gen, but if you could buy, because what, it's $50, right? So if you could buy it for $50 and hook up a controller you already have, and then start purchasing games, or pay $9.99, they could have some type of commercial, just something that really sweetened the deal. And I feel like to get a one leg up, people are going to buy the Xbox Series S. I gotta say it right. The weaker version, because it's $300, right? That's just a given. So imagine if you could buy something for $50 and get your kid that want a system. Maybe you got a kid they haven't had a system yet, right? But you're thinking about it, and then this nice little package, sweet deal, you could link with Google. I mean, I also a little frustrated that I can't believe they did. I just can't believe it doesn't come with it. But I'm like you. I'm always more positive. I'm gonna trust that Google knows what they're doing. I'm a bit of a Google fanboy, so I'm frustrated also. But I think that we'll see that for whatever reason they knew that they couldn't.
Well, I'm certain that Google do have a plan, but it's putting that plan to action and how long that will take. That's my concern. Right now they have a perfect time to capitalize on problems with other systems with their competitors. Luna's not out yet. It's coming. That's going to be on their mind without a shadow of a doubt. Xbox Series X, you can't get one for love or money. PlayStation 5, you can't get one for love or money if you haven't pre-ordered already. So here are Google available saying, hey, our hardware is here. It's $50, not $500, and you can play your games right now. Why wait till November? Jump on now, and you get this amazing TV experience with it. You could have a separate marketing angle for the gaming aspect and one that focuses on TV. You can appeal to both markets if you capitalize. If you wait too long, that's just dissipated. By the time that the Xbox Series X is regularly available on shelves, when the PS5 is regularly available on shelves, a big bit of Stadia's interest will have waned, because everybody will be thinking about these new systems. Now is a time, especially with Stadia's first anniversary coming up, to really start the push. Say, don't worry about memory. The hard drives on the new systems are terribly small. Don't ever have to worry with Stadia. You don't ever have to worry with this Chromecast. You don't have to. You can just plug into your TV and go. This is the time where they should be acting on things like that. If they leave it too late, no matter how good their plan is, they won't be able to capitalize on it fully.
Yep. And you better believe the Fire Stick is going to have an Amazon Luna button front and center to capitalize on that. Scarlett, final thoughts on this one? I'm dragging you in.
So I know I am a small business owner, and so things run a bit differently when it comes to being a small business. But there is the saying that to make money, you have to put in money. And Google has, if nothing, money. So really putting money into fast forwarding, even just to get this as a holiday time launch, wouldn't have been an issue. So money can't be an excuse. I don't think time could be an excuse either. It just, Juganawt, he hit on pretty much everything that I've been feeling and thinking about this. Like, it's just when we have also these people getting these emails about, your PS5 or your Xbox might not actually get to you until 2021. Well, those people are going to be like, well, what am I supposed to do until then? Oh, hey, I'll pick up the new Sabrina and play some Stadia because it's $10 a month to get, oh, look, I have access to 40 games. I haven't even tried this one. I haven't tried that one. Oh, I played this one ages ago. I'll play it up again. And even if it is kind of like a Band-Aid for some of those people and they end up kind of putting it aside for a bit because they get their Xbox and they start playing, Halo or whatever, it's now there, it's in their possession, and it is only $10 a month. Which I know to some people could be a lot, especially when you're already paying for your 50 other apps that you all have. But for me, I have Netflix, which we're going to be getting rid of soon. We have Disney Plus and Stadia. And that's like about it when it comes to our subscription service. Well, okay, no, we have Nintendo, but that's like $2 a month, so that doesn't count. So it just seems so ridiculous to me. It's like, to make money, you spend money, and if you're trying to make money on Stadia, you need to put more money into it. And if that is putting a flippin' Stadia button onto the dumb remote, then do it and get it out there.
So nice,
because they're going to pick up this remote and be like, how do I get to Stadia? Oh, there's no
As I
button
say,
for it. Oh, but I can go to
just have the
Netflix.
software app, just the software app, just Chrome, Chrome equivalent. With
we
a Stadia
see
button,
you just
press it,
watched
and away you
Tomb
go.
Raider. Would you like to play Tomb Raider? We see you just watched the
give me
terrible Mortal
recommendations
Kombat
for
movie.
games that I want to play, but like, because there's 2 buttons on there. Like, these are everybody's favorite things to do: Netflix and YouTube. It's like, okay, great, but also you have, and the numbers are showing, Stadia players. Where are they? So it feels. I get that they have a plan, but sorry, Dave, I didn't mean to set up your Google Home. But it's kind of driving me nuts, because it feels like they're like, yes, we have plans and we'll tell you about them in a year. That's not good enough.
After they've already happened. Dan, got final thoughts on this one?
So I am going to interject. I didn't want to, but I just wanted to kind of like put a thought into everybody's head. We don't have to discuss it, but it's more of the like, do you think that perhaps this will be another occasion where Google sees the feedback, sees the outrage, and says, right, okay, guys, we need to get on this like really quickly.
So.
Do you know what I mean? And it might come sooner than 2021, and they'll say, hey, by the way, it's out, you know what I mean, December, and everybody goes, woo, good job, Google, and it makes them look really good. Or at least if they are going to push it into 2021, you know what I mean, it is the January and the early half of it. So just food for thought.
After everybody's already tired of their game system that they bought.
It's possible, but the negativity of it not being at launch might negate any kind of goodwill them pushing it forward might have, I think.
People, I think I might agree with you on that, but I feel like the gaming community there's some things they hold grudges about, EA with their sense of pride and accomplishment, but we got a goldfish memory in some regards. Like, everybody pretty much, if Google makes a concerted effort to do better. But we want to hear from you on this. Thank you guys for a fantastic hot topic tonight. We want to hear from you on this. Take the hot topic poll. Head over to @Stadia Source on Twitter, because we want to know, are you going to pick up the Chromecast with Google TV, aka that Sabrina, and let us know if you already got one, or if you're still on the fence, or if you're waiting until they launch Stadia, or if it's just not your cup of tea. And we want to know that. So let us know. Take the hot topic poll over there on Twitter.